If you have virgin ears, you might as well just turn it off right now because you're not going to like this video. All of a sudden, Judah's just like, I guess we're going to hold off on that whore burning today because Tamar is more righteous than me. Hey, it's Rachel. Today on Crack Your Bible, we are going to be talking about a story that I guarantee that you have never heard told like this before. This is going to be a companion video to Friday's video, which is about the roles of men and women. I'm going to link it up here. We are going to talk about what happens when men pump and dump women or use them for sex and then just throw them out. When men abuse women, God has something to say about it. Now, everybody who is a Christian, they're familiar with like, oh, Jesus is the Lion of Judah. And if you're Catholic, you're aware of restrictions on contraceptives. So this is what we're going to be talking about. We are going to be talking about the origin story right here, right now. The Catholic Church does not understand this story. Most pastors do not understand this story. So we are skipping ahead to Genesis 38 because this is a companion video to Friday's video. We'll talk about Genesis 7 at some point. I don't even know when. So anyway, let us just get into it. So, okay, I need to kind of set the stage for you. So imagine like 3,000 to 4,000 years ago, and you're in the Israeli Middle Eastern area. Okay, so there is a family and there are 12 brothers, and one of the brothers, Joseph, has just been sold into slavery by his own brothers because they're jealous of him. And the brothers sold him into slavery, but they told their dad, Isaac, that Joseph had been ripped apart by wild animals. So he thought he was dead. And one of the brothers' name is Judah. Jesus is called the Lion of Judah because he comes from the tribe of Judah. So here's where we are in the story because we have skipped over all of that backstory so that we can answer this question. Judah goes into the land of the Canaanites, so people who are constantly mating with Nephilim that we've talked about in Genesis 6. I'll link it right here. And he takes a wife for himself. So Judah and his wife, they have 3 sons. They have Er, Onan, and Shelah. Yeah, it's a man's name. And their firstborn, marries this woman named Tamar. Now, was evil, so God killed him. God struck him dead. We don't know what he did necessarily, but he was evil. God put him down. So in that culture, you didn't have social services. You didn't have welfare. You didn't have WIC. Everybody in the community needed to work together to survive. And women, once they married somebody, they were part of that new family now. They weren't part of their birth family. So if something happened to their husband and they became a widow, they needed to marry another one of their husband's brothers or relatives so that she could continue to be taken care of. Otherwise, she was going to die, period. Because in that culture, you didn't have a grocery store. You couldn't just go out and like, oh, okay, I'm going to go grab me a hamburger real quick. No, you had to go hunt for your food. You had to go gather water. You had to chop firewood. You can't do all of these things, spinning your own wool to make your own clothes if you're a single lady. You just can't do it. You need a family around you. And that is why children were so important. They were imperative to a woman because if a woman died, she was screwed. She was up a creek because she didn't have protection. She didn't have somebody to make sure that marauders or thieves didn't come get her and rape her or kill her or take her off into slavery. She didn't have somebody who could help with just the day-to-day running of her life as far as getting food or anything like that. So she needs to have some sort of person to take care of her, whether that's a son or a husband. So Tamar, when her first husband died, okay, now it's Onan's turn to step up and marry Tamar, because Tamar, she is her husband's family's responsibility. She needs them to take care of her, and if they don't, she will die. So it's imperative that she has a child. It's like, if you don't want to be with me, whatever, at least I have a son who can take care of me and fend for me in my old age. But what does Onan do? Nope. Onan, every time they're in bed together, going at it, having sex, what happens right at the end, like right as they're about to, make it happen, put a baby in her, Onan pulls out and just all over the ground, all over her, whatever. If you have virgin ears, you might as well just turn it off right now, because you're not going to like this video. But Onan, every time he's like, I didn't pick this girl. Like, I don't even care. Like, I'm going to get mine. And I don't care if she doesn't have a kid. Like, not my thing. Like, I'm going to get me. I'm going to do me. And, I don't care about this hoe. Can't trust thoughts. Whatever. What is Tamar going to do? The person that she's stuck with, Onan, is using her for sex. She can't divorce him. She can't leave him because, she is a widow. This is their responsibility to take care of. It's that family's job to make sure that she has a child or somebody who can stand in the gap for her and take care of her. So she continues to sleep with Onan, and Onan just does not care. Peace out to Tamar, like, I'm gonna get mine. And this infuriates God, because she's a widow, okay? You have a responsibility to take care of her. It is your job to make sure that she is not dead on the street. She is your family. You are the one who's supposed to step up and produce that heir for her. But you're going to get yours. You're going to have sex. You're going to get off. You're going to, do your thing. But then you're going to leave her high and dry. I don't think so. Like, nope, you're done. So God, he kills him. You're done. Onan, you're dead. What is she going to do? Well, there's Shelah, and he's younger, though. So it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Because he's a little too young to marry right now. So she goes to her father-in-law, Judah, and Judah's like, go back to your father's house, and when Shelah is ready to marry, I'll give him to you so that you can have that heir, so that you aren't a destitute beggar woman sold into prostitution or murdered on the street by a bunch of vagabonds. So I'll come at you when Shelah is of age. What is Tamar going to do? She goes home to her father's house, just like Judah, her father-in-law, who is legally the one in charge of her, tells her to do. And then he's just like, if Shelah gets with Tamar, he's probably gonna die too. So even though I told Tamar that I was going to give her to Shelah so that she wouldn't be destitute, so that she wouldn't starve to death and die, eaten by a pack of wolves, I'm just gonna forget her. Who cares? Out of my sight, out of my life, not my problem anymore. But she is his problem. So Tamar waits at her father's house. Years go by. Judah still hasn't come a knocking, and she's not getting any younger. Like, okay, I only have so many years to have a kid before I am, ready to just jump off a bridge, okay? So I need to have a kid so that I am not destitute. Judah doesn't care. Not his problem. Judah's wife dies. And Judah's real upset about it. So what does he do in his grief? Oh, he goes and gets a prostitute. But it's not just any prostitute. It's actually Tamar in disguise, because she's like, you know what, God? I have had it. I am going to die. I am going to starve to death. I have to take care of me. Like, these people are trying to murder me. Like, inadvertently trying to murder me. So she disguises herself as a shrine prostitute. This is, if I was Tamar, like, I don't know what they look like 3,000 years ago. I don't know what a shrine prostitute looked like 3,000 to 4,000 years ago, but here's my look. Okay, so Tamar, I'm Tamar over here. She disguises her face, she veils her face, and she posts up like she is a prostitute. And Judah comes up to her and, for whatever reason, like, does not recognize who she is. Like, okay, it's see-through. It's not like she's wearing a bag over her head. And he's like, yo, how much? So clearly this was not his first rodeo. This was not his first go around, because he knows, like, okay, money first, like, money talks. What does Tamar do? She's no fool. She's like, okay, I want you to give me a sheep in exchange for sex. Like, homegirl is hungry over here. You know, Judah just doesn't bring along a bunch of sheep with him to his prostitute activity. He's like, oh, I'm going out tonight. Like, let me get my coin. Grabs a giant sheep. No. So he's like, okay, obviously I don't have a sheep with me. So what can I give you as a promise that I will give you this sheep? She's like, I want your seal, so it's like a signet ring, which was basically your signature back then. I want your cord, and I want your staff. So homegirl got his driver's license and the title loan to his car. He has to come back for this stuff. Otherwise, she's gonna have his seal, which is like the equivalent of him having a stamp. Every time she signs a document, she like puts his stamp on it. And that's as good as if he did it himself. So it's legally binding. So obviously he's going to want that back. So anyways, they do the deed. They have sex. Like, girl was hungry. If she's having sex with her father-in-law when she knows he's like a gross scumbag. And this is in the day before, you know, Listerine. So, you know, it's just disgusting and depressing back then. They do their deed. Judah goes home. Tamar goes home. Real big disguise, right? Okay, so Judah, what does he do? He tells his servant, like, hey, I slept with a girl, and I need you to give her the sheep so I can get my stuff back. I need my staff so I can, you know, fight off animals and things like that, get my walking stick, my whip back, and I need my driver's license back. My seal and my cord. Gotta get that back. His servant goes in through town and was like, hey, do you guys know where the shrine prostitute is? Like, we owe her some money. I got something for her. And everybody in town is like, there is no shrine prostitute here. So the servant goes back to Judah and is like, I don't know what we're gonna do, because they said no shrine prostitute is in that town. So it's like, okay, so not only is Judah having sex with a prostitute, but it's a shrine prostitute. So obviously somebody who works at a temple who has sex in worship of a fallen angel, one of these demonic gods. Judah, what are you doing? So anyway, Judah's like, well, I guess she can just keep this stuff, because, like, I don't really want this to get out that I was, you know, hooking up with a shrine prostitute. I mean, we tried to get her money, but she just disappeared. Time passes. 3 months passes. Judah, all of a sudden, I don't even know how this happens, Judah finds out that his daughter-in-law, you know, the one that he is abandoned to her own father's house, is 3 months pregnant. all of a sudden, Judah gets real concerned. This is a blight on my family. How dare this whore? We gotta burn her. No joke. He's about to burn Tamar at the stake for getting pregnant. And it's like, okay, hold on. You promised her your son, Shelah. Where is he? Huh? I mean, you obviously didn't care then. You didn't make good on that promise. You've sent her away to her father's house to basically roll over and die. And then all of a sudden, now that she's pregnant, now you care? Like, what? So, she's pregnant, and he's like, this is unacceptable. How dare she? Let's burn her. And then she sends a note to him, and she's like, oh, BTW, the person I'm pregnant with, like, this is their stuff. Do you recognize it? Girl could throw some shade. Cloud rolls over. Oh my gosh. All of a sudden, Judah's just like, I guess we're going to hold off on that whore burning today because Tamar is more righteous than me because I'm the one who knocked her up. Oops, never mind. We'll just call that off and let's all forget about it. What? So Tamar gives birth, and when Judah and his loser sons were trying to screw her out of having a kid so that she could be taken care of in her old age, God's like, you know what? If they're going to do you dirty, I'm going to make it rain on you because you got twins. So I gave her 2 kids when you were trying to make sure that she was dead in a ditch. So peace out, Judah. And guess what? She has her 2 twins. They're both boys, twin sons. How about that? Perez and Zerah. And guess who came through those twins? Jesus. Jesus is the descendant of Perez, who is the descendant of Judah. So Jesus came out of that hot mess because when you try to do people dirty, God is going to step in. He's going to be like, no, you don't. I got this. So, girls, if a guy is doing you dirty, just know Jesus knows. When you have somebody trying to destroy your life, they're going to get yours, and they don't care if you just are dead on the trash heap. Guess what? They're going to get theirs. You're going to get yours. God has your back. I just want to reiterate that the story of Tamar and Judah is not about they were having sex for non-procreative reasons and that's why God killed them. Nope, it's because he was trying to do Tamar dirty. Judah was trying to do Tamar dirty. If it was like, oh, you can't have sex without, having a baby in there, then the story would have ended with Onan dying. Okay, like 5 verses in, now the story's over. Bye. The story is not about masturbation. It's not about contraception. Hello, if you have sperm, it's just sperm. If you have an egg, it's just an egg. Like, until the 2 come together, they are not a baby. When pastors are teaching that, it's just like, okay, you did not understand the story. It went over your heads. It's about you are to take care of the widows and the orphans. You're not supposed to use them and abuse them. You're going to get what you want out of them, and then you don't care. God is the champion of the widows. He is the advocate of the widows. He's the father to the fatherless, okay? God cares about these people. So when you do them dirty, guess what? God is coming for you. He has your number. He knows where you live. So I just want people to understand, do not do people who are beneath you in your mind dirty, because God cares about those people, and he does not take kindly to people who use and abuse people, and he for sure does not take kindly to people abusing widows and using them for sex. Absolutely not. And you kind of see the same attitude of Judah today, where it's like, he can go to a shrine prostitute, he can have sex with foreign women or do his thing outside of the confines of marriage, but he's the first one to be like, burn her, she's a hoe, she's a thought, like. And it just reminds me of guys today. They are on a Tinder carousel. Thank you, Jesus, that I was already with my husband when Tinder came out. Thank you. Men can sleep around with whomever that they wish. They don't have to care about them. You know, Drake over here, I'm telling her she's the one when I'm not even planning to call. Like, take 10 seats, okay? Because God sees this. All these people, oh, she want a ring, but we're not trying to cuff these hoes. Like, you know what? Women should want to get married. That's an adult thing to do. You should want to get married. It's not, I'm just going to pump and dump somebody. But you see these guys today, they want to just run through women. And if you don't put out, all of a sudden they ghost on you. You don't hear from them. And then all of a sudden they are getting older after they've had a zillion sex partners. And then you start getting phone calls because they think that they're a phoenix trying to rise out of the ashes of the bridges that they burnt. Like, oh, what are you up to? Oh, I miss you. Like, what happened to us? Sit down, like, and they're the same ones online complaining about, oh, all these women are hoes, blah, blah. I can't even find a good woman. You were the one who was running through all these women. You're the one going to churches, trying to pick up girls so that you can just have sex with and dump her because you know that she hasn't slept around with a bunch of guys and you're not going to, like, catch anything. So seriously, swerve. Go to the left. But just know, if you're like that, if you think that you're going to run through girls and then you're going to be, oh, woe is me, I'm so righteous, blah, 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 oh, all women are hoes, like, you're the one who made them hoes. Like, they weren't sleeping with themselves. They didn't have sex with themselves. They were obviously having sex with these guys. So, if you're that guy, stop, because guess what? God has your number. Likewise, girls, don't hoe it up. Tamar was in a life and death situation, but just remember, if anybody's trying to mess with you, if anybody's trying to use you and abuse you, God has their number. Make sure to tell everybody that Tamar and Judah, the Lion of Judah, where Jesus came out of, is not about contraception. It's not about, oh, you can't have fun sex because, okay, literally, Song of Saul is all about, you have a great rack. You make me super horny. That's basically what the Song of Saul is. And if you've been following me on social media, on Instagram, you've been seeing Flirty Fridays where we are pulling out some nasty verses on Friday so that you can drop some lines on your spouse. So anyway, sex can be fun. Sex does not have to lead to procreation. God doesn't have a problem with that. But what he does have a problem with is you pumping and dumping when she's expecting you to wife her up. So anyway, I will talk to you guys on Wednesday, and I would like you to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you later. Bye.